In the past, people heard from God. They walked with Him, spoke with Him. But how many still hear from God or communicate with Him today? Now let's look at some men of God who heard God speak throughout the Bible passages. Hold on and watch to the end, as we will also reveal reasons why we don't hear God again today. Here are some men who heard from God in the Bible. God spoke to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, giving them instructions on how to live, including the command not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God instructed Noah to build an ark to save his family and animals from the flood that would destroy the earth. God called Abraham to leave his homeland and promised to make him a great nation. Moses heard God's voice from the burning bush, where God called him to lead the Israelites out of slavery in Egypt. As a young boy serving in the temple, Samuel heard God call his name in the night. Jeremiah heard God speak to him as a young man, calling him to be a prophet. After Job suffered great losses and questioned God, he finally heard God speak out of a whirlwind. The Apostle John heard from God in a series of visions while exiled on the island of Patmos. Isaiah heard God's voice in a vision of the Lord seated on a throne in the temple. He heard God ask, "Whom shall I send?" God gave Joshua instructions on how to conquer Jericho and reassured him of his constant presence. King Solomon heard from God in a dream, where God offered to give him anything he asked for. Solomon requested wisdom to govern the people. Jonah heard God's voice when he was called to preach to the city of Nineveh. God spoke to a variety of people, from kings and prophets to ordinary individuals. In every case, his words had a great impact on their lives and the course of history. But now, how many of you still hear God? And this is the reason why we don't hear God speak to us. Lack of prayer and time set aside to speak to God and hear Him. Even when we pray, it's short or on the move. Distractions by worldly desires. We allow the pursuit of money and other distractions to take up most of our time. Living in sin and remaining unrepentant. Spiritual laziness, neglecting to fellowship with other believers, losing passion for the things of God, and not growing spiritually. Not taking time out to study the Bible or meditate on His Word. God desires your attention. He created us for Himself and is always ready to speak if we are willing to listen.